So EVOLSAUR or evoltile or EVOLSAUR, whatever you want to call it, is a deck with reptiles, dinosaurs, and dragons that focuses on Xyz-emitting monsters with non-once per turn negates and pops. The Radius Requiem box gave the deck 2 of their boss monsters, an actual good main deck evoltile monster, and their most powerful trap ever, Evo Singularity. The deck aims to make as many of these Xyz monsters as possible to prevent the opponent from doing literally anything. So let's go through the cards one by one. First we have EVOLSAUR Diplo. This is one of our level 4 EVOLSAUR monsters. When it's special summoned by the effect of an evoltile monster, you can pop a back row. Main starter in evoltile Mega Chirella. It is a level 1 evoltile, and you can tribute a reptile monster and discard a card to special summon a level 6 or lower fire dinosaur type monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target a dragon type Xyz monster you control with no material, and attach up to 2 reptile or dinosaur monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard to that monster. Really good effect to replenish your materials. EVOLSAUR Volcano, our second level 4 EVOLSAUR monster. It is our main target to summon with our Mega Chirella. When it's special summoned by the effect of an evoltile monster, you can revive a EVOLSAUR monster from your graveyard. So what you will do is discard a level 4 EVOLSAUR with the effect of Mega Chirella, something like Diplo or another copy of Volcano, and then summon Volcano from your deck, and then Volcano revive the other level 4 that you discarded, and then you can make your rank 4 Xyz monsters. So Evo Diversity, that is main search of the deck. It adds any evoltile or evoltile monster from your deck. It has a hard once per turn. Evolve Singularity, this is one of the best cards in our deck. You can use one evoltile and one evolzar monster from your graveyard to make an evolzar Xyz monster. And it doesn't have to match the levels, it just needs any 2 evoltile and evolzar monster. So that allows us to make rank 6 without even needing any level 6 monsters. So for our staple slots, we have triple different dimension ground, and 2 copies of a Pointer of the Red Lotus. This card is really good in this deck just because it gives us information on what our opponent has in their hand, so we know exactly which card to negate with our Evolzar Lagia. And also it triggers Destiny Draw, which is pretty nice. For the extra deck, let's go over Evolzar monsters first. Evolzar Lagia, that is our main rank 4 that we will summon during our first turn. During either player's turn, when a monster would be normal special summoned, or when a spell or trap card is activated, you can detach 2 to negate the summon or activation and destroy that card. So it is a really powerful effect. It is not once per turn, even though it does detach 2 materials. So if your opponent activates a spell or trap during your turn and you negate it, you can use the effect of Mega Chirella to give it back its 2 materials, and then it can negate during the same turn again if your opponent decides to activate another spell or trap. Our second monster is EVOLSAUR Soldier. There's our rank 6. You summon this using your trap card Evil Singularity, because we don't actually play any level 6 monsters. This card with Xyz material cannot be destroyed by card effects. This is actually really useful. It does come out a lot of the times. And when your opponent special summons a monster, you can detach 1 material to pop that monster. It doesn't negate its effect, it just pops it, but it only detaches 1 material, which is pretty nice because it is not once per turn. So if you use the effect of Evil Singularity to attach 2 monsters to your soldier as material, you can pop 2 times in 1 turn. It also has quite a high amount of attack, higher than Evolzar Lagia, so it is also quite good as a beater. For the remaining extra deck slots, we're also playing some generic Xyz and Link monsters. You can play whatever you want, doesn't really matter. If you have more expensive and better staple options like Malevolent Sin, Dark Rebellion, or the Nightmares, you could play them. So this is the expensive version of a deck. Nothing much has changed. We just removed a single copy of Diplo just because we have our skill switcher rule, which will help us fix our hand even if we brick. And we have Cosmic Cyclone and Ring of Destruction to help trigger our skill. And also for extra deck, it's pretty much the same, but we can also play like Rebellion, Xyz Dragon, and Malevolent Sin just because they're better staples. And an extra copy of Lagia in case the game drags on for very long. So let's go through the pros and cons of the deck. 1. The boss monsters are really good. None of their effects are once per turn, so as long as they have enough materials, you can stop your opponent from doing basically anything. 2. Evo's Singularity is insane. It summons an evolzar from your extra deck and gives it 2 materials, which not only gives you extra interruption and a free body, it also gives you access to the rank 6 soldier without even playing any level 6 monsters. And the cons. 1. This deck is very bricky. Mega Chinchilla is a great starter, but it is still not one card combo. You will still need at least one other level 4 EVOLSAUR for you to discard with Mega Chinchilla for your combo to work. And even then, you will only end on a single Xyz monster, which isn't a lot. 2. The end board of this deck is quite crusty. It also doesn't help that Evo Singularity is not searchable, so it is still better than a turn 1 Raid Raptor board, but ending on a single Lagia isn't very good. 3. This deck completely relies on Mega Chinchilla to work. So if it gets interrupted by a single Book of Moon, Warning Point, just basically literally anything, you will lose the game. You don't have anything else to do. So overall, this deck is not very good. It is bricky, it is fragile, and their best card, Evo Singularity, is not searchable. But I'm still glad that this deck is finally playable after all these years of being in the game, but it would have been a lot better if those cards came a lot earlier, so this deck might have a chance of actually being relevant in the meta. So let's have a look at the replays. Okay, we are going first. That is wonderful. Our deck loves going first because we set up really powerful negates in our Xyz monsters. And we have drawn full combo. Full combo just requires a single copy of Mega Chinchilla and a level 4 EVOLSAUR in our hand. So what we'll do is tribute itself, summon Volcano from our deck, revive one level 4 EVOLSAUR, make a Lagia, and we can set one and pass. We will activate a Pointer of the Red Lotus, banishing his single monster in his hand, so he's forced to set free and pass. During our turn, since we activated a pointer, we have triggered Destiny Draw. He's trying to compulse, we know that because we looked at his hand. We'll negate that, he's going to IDP, but they don't actually match types, so he can't actually banish my Lagia. Lagia is a dragon, and my graveyard doesn't have any dragon monsters. So he's going to attempt to MSC, which we also know he has because of a Pointer of the Red Lotus. We will chain one Evo Singularity. And our opponent attempts to pop it with Bottomless Trapple, but EVOLSAUR Soldier can't be destroyed by card effects. So even though it banishes after being destroyed, it still destroys. So EVOLSAUR Soldier won't be affected. Anyway, he's going to normal summon the Mageline that we banished the last turn, and then he's gonna special summon the Peng Sasu, which we will pop with Soldier. But it doesn't negate its effect, so it still gets to summon the Pudding Cess from the deck, and that's fine, we will just pop it again. It is not once per turn. So we're gonna pop that again, he's gonna shuffle back his Madolches that we popped, and he's going to enter. So during our turn, we can banish the Mega Chinchilla to replenish its materials, normal summon in EVOLSAUR, and attack for game. Expensive version of a deck, which we are playing Bandit Keith, so we can play Switcheroo. We're going second, which is not ideal, but we will see what we can do. So this hand is not very good because we drew 2 Diversity, and Diversity is hard once per turn, so our opponent is playing Mech Knights, which is quite tough for us. They are a pretty good deck. So fortunately, because they went first, they can't really do a lot, and they drew a secret, which don't ask me why I summoned a monster in the same column. We'll attempt to activate the effect. and it gets negated, but that's fine because our goal is to have 2 monsters in our graveyard for Evil Singularity to resolve. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna revive 2 of our monsters from our graveyard, 1 evoltile and 1 evolsauр. And he is going to banish Purple Nightfall. We're gonna summon Solda. And he's going to link summon Morningstar. He's going to activate its effect and chain Cleric, and we will pop it with Solda. Unfortunately, it doesn't really negate the effect, so he is still going to grab a World Legacy Memories. He's going to special summon Red Moon. We can't pop it because it's in the same column, so it gets negated. And he's going to successfully pop our Solda. Probably shouldn't have detached the material because it's protected only when it has a Pixies material. But anyway, we're gonna activate Ring of Destruction, so his World Legacy Succession can't resolve. And in Evo Diversity, we grab our level 1, and we'll see what we draw off our skill. We draw the best card of our deck. That is really nice. He's going to attack because we don't actually have enough columns for whatever he has in his hand. We're gonna summon our second Solda. He doesn't have enough attack to beat over it. And we draw a Ring of Destruction. We don't actually attack after he banishes his monster because if his life points is too low, we can't actually activate our Ring of Destruction. So we're gonna Solda his Blue Sky. He's gonna chain Purple Nightfall, we chain Ring of Destruction, that is why we didn't directly attack last time. We're gonna pop both of his monsters. And now we are going to push for a game. He's trying to Compulse, that is fine. We still have enough for lethal. We're gonna use the effect of Mega Shavella, make the Volcano, revive Diplo, make Elagia, and attack for lethal. Despite how many misplays I have done, we still won the game. So this deck is a pretty neat pick if you are going into the Raiders Requiem box. This deck overall is pretty cheap, even as you can see in the expensive version, not much has changed, it's just more expensive staples. The core of the deck is pretty much the same because a lot of the evil cards are free to obtain. For example, Searcher, Evil Diversity is obtainable from ranked duel tickets. And the only expensive part of the core of the deck is the extra deck monsters, which are only super rares, so they're pretty easy to get as well. So I do recommend checking this deck out, even though it's not very good, because it is quite fun to play actually. So thanks for watching, goodbye.